made of rubber.
How did that happen?
Yo ho ho, he took a bite of gum gum.
Welcome to More Fanime. I'm your fan of more anime. What's up, everybody? Today, I'm going to be taking a deep dive into chapter 1059 of the One Piece manga, which just dropped yesterday. And I read it yesterday, I read it again today, and I fucking love it. It is a fantastic chapter. If you haven't read chapter 1059 and you have not heard the spoilers or whatnot, you need to get in it now, because I went into it spoiler free. It's a big boy. Lots of shiz happens without the Straw Hat Crew in this little chapter. They're in it for a hot minute, like a page. But other than that, it's a Blackbeard, Kobe, Boa Hancock, Rayleigh, is it Rayleigh or Raleigh, whatever, centric chapter. And Marco and Shanks makes an appearance as well. This chapter is absolutely a 9.5, maybe 10 out of 10 here at More Fanime. That's what I'm saying, and we haven't even started talking about it yet. But before I get into spoiler territory, please don't forget to comment down below. Let me know how you doing. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell your friends about More Fanime, because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But let's hop right into chapter 1059, the cover story. Was more of the same. We're still dealing with what's going on at Whole Cake Island. We still don't know if Big Mom's alive or dead. Not that it matters with this current situation right now. If you didn't know, Oven and his brother Katakuri are going toe-to-toe with the Germa 66, but luckily for them, Germa 66, they get saved by Caesar, and he's been using a hallucinogen-type gas on them. And now Oven and Katakuri are fighting each other. Wow. After that, after the cover page, we dive right into Marco taking off, going home, or going to that orphan island where he was like protecting the island that Whitebeard came from. I'm assuming that's where he's going. My other assumption is maybe he's headed to take care of Weevil. We haven't seen Weevil in a while. I'm not saying Weevil's one of my favorite characters in any way, shape, or form. I just barely know the mother fudger, and I'd like to see some more about Weevil. I mean, he's supposedly the son of Whitebeard, and he's not a part of the Cross Guild that we know of yet. He's last time we saw him, he was going toe-to-toe with the Marines. He's been hunted down, just like the other Shishibukai, which I find to be a big mistake. My other theory is maybe, since he was a new Shishibukai, maybe the Marines, after failing to capture him, offered him and his mama an opportunity to join the Marines and, you know, be an official Marine going forward instead of a warlord, and still work for them, because all he's done is good things for them by going around and killing the former members of the Whitebeard pirates. Something to that effect. I feel like Marco might be going just to go chill. I have a feeling we're going to see Marco again. I really do. He says he's retired, but he's still got to deal with the elephant in the room. And what I mean by elephant is Weevil, the fucking mammoth of a man who's coming after him. And I'm not talking about Jack the Drought either. So, Weevil's not in this chapter, by the way, sorry. Marco is actually saying bye to the red-haired pirates, the Shanks crew, because he got a ride from them, a quick little ride from them home, since they were heading that way, I guess. And it's kind of interesting, because Shanks is like, wait, you're not going to join my crew? You should join my crew. I'm not a handful. Tell him, Beck. And Beck's like, I cannot confirm that Shanks isn't a handful. I'm starting to think that there was a point where I thought that maybe Shanks could be a bad guy, but at this point, I mean, Marco wouldn't just be hanging out with the dude, getting a quick ride home if he was a shitty person, unless he's hiding it from everybody, like his crew. If Shanks is hiding his true intentions, from his entire crew, maybe just Ben Beckman. It might be the only one that knows. We'll have to wait and find out. But I'm at this point, 1% thinking that he might be a future villain. He might be an opponent for Luffy, but I don't think he's a bad guy like I did at one point. Which is cool, because it'll be interesting to see how the battle unfolds between Shanks and Luffy, if it ever happens. For all we know, Shanks might be taken out by the government, or taken out by Blackbeard at some point. Just gonna have to wait and find out. So Shanks asks Marco to join his crew, which would have been a revelation in this chapter. If Marco was like, yeah, I'll join you, Shanks, that would be interesting. I'd be like, oh, where is this going? Because, we do kind of know some of the members of Shanks' crew, like Lucky Roo and Ben Beckman, but I don't know that much about the rest of them. Maybe I need to do some research. Maybe I need to watch One Piece Film Red when it comes out in October here in the United States, and maybe I'll get some more info. But as of right now, it would be nice to have somebody like Marco, who's had some character development, someone we know, inside and out, sort of, join his crew. Maybe they have a vendetta. Maybe he helps Marco go take out Weevil, as I mentioned earlier. But it doesn't happen. Marco takes off and remembers why he left, or when he left for some reason. He's like, I'm retiring from being a pirate. I'm done. Peace. Which is fair, but I do really think we're going to see him again go head toe to toe with Weevil. But he takes off, tells Luffy, I'm out of here. The future of the pirate era is on your shoulders, Luffy. No pressure. No pressure at all. But I think Shanks would be real proud of you, bud. And Luffy's just like, you think so? You really do? That's awesome. And I didn't realize that Luffy's laugh was a she. I'll have to show you. Maybe it's just a translation issue, but it's interesting. I didn't realize Luffy had a funny laugh. Maybe he doesn't do it as much in the anime, so it just doesn't stand out. But as I've noticed in the last few chapters, when Luffy laughs, it's kind of like an S-H-I. So Luffy's talking to Yamato as Marco's taking off. Yamato's like, yeah, I'm going to stay here. And Luffy's like, why would you do that? You told Ace that you wanted to go on adventures. Go on adventures with me and the Straw Hat crew. I mean, you're literally able to go toe-to-toe with someone like Zoro, possibly. I do not know how strong Yamato really is, but Yamato was able to hold off Kaido. And that's a big deal. So Yamato not joining the Straw Hat crew is a big deal. And so we were all confused last chapter, what's going on? Or the chapter before that. Why is Yamato not joining? And we find out here in chapter 1059 that Yamato decided, because of Green Bull showing up and causing havoc and only being chased away by Shanks' massive hockey, Yamato decides, I'm going to follow in Oden's footsteps. I'm going to stay in Wano. I'm going to protect it. But I'm going to tell Momo, because even Zoro in this chapter, in chapter 1059, Zoro says Momo has a, what were the words? He's very sensitive. He's a sensitive boy, and you don't want to insult him. So Yamato came up with that whole idea of I'm going to travel like Oden, even though I'm sure that's what Yamato wants. I think that Yamato's using that as a front to stay in Wano, and it might be permanent, but there was even a scene, I'll put it up here, where Yamato says, hey, it would be really cool to go travel with you guys. I really want to be a Straw Hat. So I feel like Oda is just teasing us with another member of the Straw Hat crew, and I do believe maybe one day Yamato will officially join, or when the big final battle happens and the Straw Hat fleet come and there's just this war happening, I feel like the Wano wing of the Straw Hat crew will include Momo, Kinemon, and Yamato, and they'll be sailing on their own cool boat with the Straw Hat flag, attached to it. It's going to be interesting to see that going forward. And I'm glad that Oda explained that Yamato does want to go on sea still, but is willing to sacrifice that dream. So next, we don't get to see any more from the Straw Hat crew at all for this entire chapter. And it goes on. We get to see the aftermath of what's been going on with the Marines attacking Amazon Lily and Boa Hancock and her entire family and crew and whatnot. And I guess it's been going on for a hot minute. Like, they've been sending waves of Marines, I assume, kind of like with what happened with Hawkeye Mihawk when he was dealing with waves of Marines. My prediction is either Rayleigh's going to stay on Amazon Lily for the time being and protect it, which I'm jumping ahead saying that, but doesn't really matter. Or Boa Hancock could go join the Cross Guild. That's a good thing that could happen. But either way, Kobe's there with a vice admiral, with an army, and going like, hey, I'm the hero of the Marines. And that's interesting as well. Like, when did Kobe become the hero of the Marines? From what I got from this chapter, at one point, Kobe helped Blackbeard capture Pirate Island, and that made him the hero of the Marines. That's my only guess. But he's being called the hero. So Kobe has become something special in the Marines, and I'd like to know more about that. I feel like it was very vague. But not only that, the Marines have new pacifistas that are children, and they look like the warlords. Yeah, if you didn't hear that from anybody else, you're hearing it from me at Morphanime. That shit's nuts. There was two of them. One of them looked exactly like Boa Hancock, and the other one looked exactly like Hawkeye Mihawk, but as children. They looked like them, like clones. And they had white hair and darker skin, and black wings like a Lunarian. So they are like genetically enhanced, like the Germa 66 technology. I don't think they're robots or cyborgs like the original Kuma pacifistas. They even have a different name. I didn't really, it didn't register yet in my brain hole, but I will get that. But they are essentially the new pacifistas. They have the power of Kizaru's laser beam. Little Mihawk pacifista had a sword similar to his and cut half of Amazon Lily, or a third of Amazon Lily, like a piece of pizza. And then it was interesting because the Mihawk clone had the same eyes as Mihawk, but the Boa Hancock clone had star eyes, which is it made me very curious to why only the Boa Hancock clone had star eyes and the Mihawk clone had the regular, the way that Hawkeye Mihawk has those crazy looking circle eyes. So what's going on there? Somebody needs to explain that in the comments down below and let me know, because I couldn't figure that out. There must be something going on with Mihawk's eyes for them to keep those instead of having these weird star eyes. There's got to be something happening there. I can't think of anything. Maybe there's something specific about the eyes that Mihawk has. I've heard theories like that in the past, so I'm grabbing onto that. But before Kobe and these pacifistas could destroy Amazon Lily and capture Boa Hancock, Boa is like, I ain't going with you. Nuh-uh. Even Boa's like, maybe I should leave Amazon Lily and go marry Luffy, which was hilarious. And then like her sister, or the old lady that lives on Amazon Lily, was like, you always say you want to go marry Luffy. And I was like, yeah, that's true. That's what she does. But she comes out and is ready to fight now. But before that even happens, Blackbeard and some of his Titanic captains show up. 2 Titanic captains show up. Vasco Shot and the girl that can turn into a 9-tailed fox. Neither of their abilities came into play during this chapter. They actually get one-shotted by Boa Hancock. They are both very interested. The girl member of the Blackbeard Pirates wants to take her head, wants to keep Boa Hancock's head on a stake or as a trophy. And Vasco Shot wants to keep her alive because it's more fun. They're psychos. No wonder they were in level 6 of Impel Down. They show up. Blackbeard's like, I'm here to take Boa Hancock's Devil Fruit ability because I don't want it to get in the hands of the government. I think it's too powerful and I need it. And it was surprising because I don't think anybody predicted the fact that Blackbeard would be so interested in Boa Hancock's Devil Fruit. And it tells me that he's very interested still in strong devil fruit abilities, even though hockey has seemingly been more of as of late, been more of a presence in the story than devil fruit abilities. So it'll be interesting to see what powers exactly he's going to collect. Was he going to take Boa Hancock's ability for himself? Or was he going to take it for someone on his crew? Maybe Burgess? But I could also see Blackbeard doing it. I'm not 100% sure how Boa Hancock's power works, but I thought it was because if you lust after Boa Hancock, you turn to stone. And that's why it didn't affect Luffy, because he didn't lust after her. He wasn't, charmed by her. But maybe you can charm people in other ways. Maybe it just has to be an emotional response. So maybe if Blackbeard can just strike fear into people's eyes, they could become stone. They could be turned to stone through fear instead of love. Maybe he can have the fear beam, or instead of the love beam. That would be interesting, because there's no way people are going to be lusting after old Blackbeard. And I did notice that she comes out and hits a massive attack. And just slave arrows and whatnot to the Marines and the Blackbeard crew, turning nearly everybody to stone. A lot of them weren't, but it looked like the only Marine that didn't get turned to stone was Kobe. Kobe has become something to watch out for. Kobe was able to not be affected by by Boa Hancock. Either he didn't lust after her, maybe maybe him and Hill Nepo were a thing, and that's why it didn't happen to him. But Hill Nepo was turned to stone, so maybe that throws that theory out of the water. And now Kobe gets captured by Blackbeard. Blackbeard takes Boa Hancock by the throat and says, "I guess I gotta kill ya." And she's like, "Well, if you kill me, none of your crewmates will ever be returned, turned back to normal," because she can turn them back to normal. And Blackbeard's like, "Meh, you're kind of a threat. And that power of yours is a threat. And I would rather have that power than have Vasco Shot or whatever her name is on my crew," which is crazy because they seem very powerful last time we saw them. So it'll be interesting. It also shows how little Blackbeard cares for his crew. But before Blackbeard could snap her neck, even Kobe was like, "I don't think she'll do it." So it's interesting. I'm wondering if Kobe is almost friends. No way is he friends with Blackbeard. But he gets captured by Blackbeard. And Blackbeard is run out of Amazon Lily thanks to Rayleigh showing up. Rayleigh shows up and says, "Y'all got to go. This fight is over." Rayleigh shows up with Shaky. Is it Shaky? The girl from Sabaody, the bar at Sabaody. And turns out Shaky is a former empress of Amazon Lily. Didn't see that one coming. I'm not sure how that'll play into the future of the One Piece. Maybe it gives Boa Hancock the opportunity to leave her throne and go finally marry Luffy in the future. That could be interesting. I'd be fine with that. Luffy deserves it. I don't know if Luffy wants that. Maybe Boa Hancock leaves because she knows she's kind of a danger to her family, and it's like, "I'll go sail with Luffy." And she joins the Straw Hat crew officially. Maybe she joins the Cross Guild. We don't know. Now the Cross Guild's goal, to be honest, since they're all former Shichibukai, they should be worried if they find out that the government has created clones of them, child clones of them with abilities we are still unsure of. Like, do they all have the devil fruit powers that their originals do? Like, if they have a buggy kid clone, can it do the chop fruit ability? Are they all super Lunarians that they have this strength? Even Blackbeard was impressed with the power of these pacifistas. There was a point where he used his most powerful attack that we know of, the black hole. He used he used Whitebeard's quake fruit as well, causing some absolute havoc and damage to the sea around them and Amazon Lily. He was not messing around. The minute he saw these Lunarian children, he freaked out a little bit. He was like, "How did they beat all of you?" His crewmates. Because he brought a pretty big crew with him. This little kid that looks like Mihawk just whipped their ass. Blackbeard had to use the black hole to, I think, eliminate the Mihawk clone, or at least keep him at bay, keep him trapped out of the way so he could go after Boa Hancock. I think it would literally take Blackbeard's full might to go toe-to-toe with these pacifistas. Both of them at the same time, at least. It'd be pretty nuts. Luckily, he did bring a crew. I think, honestly, if these pacifistas are as strong as Blackbeard's making them out to be, they could be a real threat. We could have a Shishibukai child army, for all we know. There could be multiple Boa Hancocks, multiple Mihawks. There could be a Doflamingo child clone running around with some kind of string fruit ability, for all we know. I mean, what does Doflamingo have to say about this? I want to see Doflamingo, damn it. I want to know what he thinks about the world government turning possibly him and the rest of the Shishibukai into weapons that they don't even get to be a part of. Like, they're just mindless clone weapons for all we know at this point. They have the power that Kizaru has. I saw them shoot the blast out of their hands like the normal pacifistas. It does make me wonder, do they have the Devil Fruit abilities? Can Boa Hancock's clone use the Love beam? I didn't seem like it. Why wouldn't she just do it immediately? Because she didn't. Why do they have the star eyes? What's going on? How strong are these guys? They seem pretty strong. If you see Mihawks cut through Amazon Lily, it'll frighten you for a hot minute. So, in summary, this fucking chapter was a blast. I'm so excited. I'm so happy that Kobe is back, Blackbeard is back, and now they're a unit. They worked together to take over Pirate Island. What does that mean? Maybe there's going to be some form of a Marineford situation, but instead of the government, executing somebody, maybe Blackbeard uses Kobe as bait for Luffy to come and save him. For Luffy to come, and maybe Blackbeard uses him as an exchange. He's like, give me that Nika Devil Fruit ability of yours, and I'll give you Kobe. Or maybe Kobe decided to go with Blackbeard. They didn't necessarily show him get captured. That could be just the story that's being told. For all we know, they could have made an agreement. Kobe could have made an agreement with Blackbeard, be like, help me, help you, help me, help you. And we'll go capture the other, pirates in the world. But I can't imagine Kobe being the self-righteous hero of the Marines doing that. We'll have to wait and find out, but that's a theory. That's definitely a theory. He's a part of Sword. I would like to know more about them. We don't even know if X-Drake is alive. Maybe X-Drake will go save Kobe. I'm hoping Hill Nepo got turned back to normal. It did seem like at the end of the chapter, Rayleigh was like, hey, I'll make sure this war ends, but Boa, you need to turn these people back to normal, and then everybody's going to be happy, and everybody's going to leave. Otherwise, we would have lost the female member of the Blackbeard Pirates, of the Titanic Captains. We would have lost Vasco Shot. We would have lost Hill Nepo, and multiple Marines that were faceless and had no names. And they would have been gone from the story from this point forward out of nowhere. I feel like Oda is pulling no punches at this point. He knows he's in the final saga. He knows he has to go all out. I mean, Shaky being a former queen of Amazon Lily is a big revelation. At one point, someone tried to tell me that Shaky was a member of the Rocks crew. Like, did Shaky have a relationship with Rocks or even Goldie Roger in the past? It does seem like her and Rayleigh might be a thing now, or maybe they're just good pals. We'll have to see. Luckily, Rayleigh showed up. Otherwise, they'd all be dead. They'd all be dead, and Amazon Lily would be turned to dust thanks to the Quake Fruit and Darkness Fruit combined. And then also, Blackbeard would have the power of the Love Fruit, possibly not using it in that way, turning it into like a Fear Fruit and turning people into stone based just looking at him. That would be nuts. This is more Fanime. What did you think of Chapter 1059? I absolutely loved it. There's so much to talk about going on right now. I really hope there's not a break next week. Please comment down below. Let me know if there's a break next week. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you later.
There's no doubt, the pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.